The Farm Journal Legacy Project presents Leave a Legacy. And now, your host, Kevin Spafford.
Welcome to Leave a Legacy. This show is about you, America's farmers and agribusiness owners. As part of the Farm Journal Legacy Project, our goal is to bring you good information, relevant tools, and valuable experiences. You have the opportunity to learn from families who are intent on cultivating multi-generational success in the agricultural community. Today, we're in Arizona with the Kerr family. Originally from Michigan, this dairy family took a unique path to achieve multi-generational success. We're in Buckeye, just outside of the Phoenix metropolitan area, where Clinton Griffiths will introduce us to the Kerr family.
Drop beneath the Arizona sun lies the Kerr family dairy. This operation keeps busy milking 1,000 head of Holsteins 3 times a day and raising 600 head of heifers. As with any dairy, it's work that never stops.
From each experience you have, you learn something, you gain from that, and you tuck that away, and you just use that experience and that knowledge.
And there have been lots of experiences spread across these 4 generations.
It sure has worked for us.
If they need a new tractor, they'd go buy a tractor.
John and Bobby Kerr bought this farm back in 1951 after getting married at the ripe old age of 17. Young and lacking credit, the ambitious teens got a loan from the Borden's Milk Company to buy out John's father.
We were able to buy his 20 acres is what he had. So we bought the 20 acres and then we bought the cattle.
From there, the 12-cow dairy in the family grew. 3 sons, including Bill.
I've always said I was wishing or hoping one of them would want a dairy to hold the tradition. Well, behold, I got blessed and all 3 of them wanted the dairy.
So John and Bobby set up a system allowing each boy to build their own operation.
With the money that I earned raising calves for my dad,
Okay.
and then I would get to sell the bull calves, and then I'd put that in my savings.
He also sold a few sheep at the county fair. It's money he used to buy 15 cows. Bill kept them and milked them at his father's farm, but the responsibility and the milk was all his.
They bought their own feed. Everything was always kept separate.
The Kerrs decided early on against a family partnership.
It boils down to it, the sons have just got a job. They don't have to make any decisions. Dad, he pays all the bills. We don't even know what's going on. And I didn't want that. I wanted the boys to mature. And if I could see them making a mistake, I didn't say a word. Because experience.
In 1974, the family moved from Tempe to Buckeye, Arizona, where Bill met his high school sweetheart, Sina. She wasn't a farm girl, but thanks to friends, she knew she wanted to be.
And I just learned to love the farm and farm life and just loved everything about it. So I decided at a really early age, by golly, I'm gonna marry a farmer. We met in the halls of Buckeye High School, and when he brought me home to meet his family and we drove on that dairy farm, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it.
Now, nearly 40 years later, farm life is still the life. The 2 have 4 kids of their own, 3 girls and a son, and now there's grandchildren.
Raising them here on the farm has just been just the dream life.
I feel like sometimes we get the term cowgirls, but I always correct them like we're farm girls.
All 3 have off-farm careers.
As I finished college and started realizing, Dad, he is needing some help on the farm.
While son Wes is home, helping point the dairy towards the future. Not only is he helping run the operation, but his focus is on genetics and nutrition.
Boy, we're in good hands, and that's exciting.
A pretty good endorsement from one generation to the next, as this operation continues in the loving hands of family.
As you can see, the Kerrs employed a unique solution to solve an age-old problem. Up next, I'm going to ask Sina and Bill if there's a single key to success in the family operation.
Pioneer Hybrid proudly continues its legacy of supporting America's farm families by sponsoring the Farm Journal Legacy Project.
The things you need to protect don't always come with a timeline.
If your personal goal is to make sure your family farm stays in the family, you need to know where to turn for advice. Pioneer Hybrid proudly supports the Farm Journal Legacy Project, a valuable resource for your succession planning and your children's future. The family farm is alive and well. Pass it on.
Simple answers are the best answers. Pioneer was first to simplify corn rootworm refuge by integrating everything you need in a single bag. Now, Pioneer is expanding choices with new single bag refuge products, Optimum AcreMax and Optimum AcreMax Extra Insect Protection. Just fill your planter and go. No stopping. Right product, right acre. Simple.
Match the right product to the right acre and you'll see results. Y-Series soybeans from Pioneer, for example. They're redefining yield potential field by field. Powered by our exclusive accelerated yield technology system. They're the next generation of high-performing Pioneer varieties with bred in pest resistance traits. It's easy to see why growers plant Pioneer brand soybean varieties on more acres than any other brand.
This is our time to get the most out of every hour, out of every acre. You don't plant half promises, only the best solutions. We know the land, we know you. It goes generations deep. Right product on the right acre. It's what we do together.
If it sounds too good to be true, well, I wanted to know. So I visited with 2 generations of Kerrs about successes and the corresponding challenges in planning for the long term.
My son, from early age, was wanting to do this, and it's kind of a different deal, I think, when you have sons and daughters, and I know that the daughters get married and go off sometimes, so that's kind of been, you know, what we've done here. Is, my son was wanting to get back and get involved with it, and we've always tried to figure out ways to where we could split it up, and we're kind of dealing with that right now. We don't really know how that's going to pan out.
What do you mean split it up?
Well, like if we pass or whenever in the next generation, who's going to get, like you were asking, who will get, you know, the next generation to take this on down the road a little farther. Like I said, we're just trying to deal with that right now. I don't know.
Well, one thought we had, because we've had some formal meetings, some strategy planning. We brought in some succession planners, and then just talking amongst ourselves, just experience what Bill's folks did. One idea, you know, that we've had, because we also own some acreage, is keep the dairy facility separate from the acreage. You know, let the girls inherit, you know, part of the acreage, work it so that Wes would be able to continue, you know, milking the cows, and of course, you know, having a living trust set up. And you know, those kinds of mechanisms that you need just to kind of, we have the framework we need to make everything happen, and now it's just the detail, deciding, you know, how exactly do we want this to look and to pan out, and because oftentimes our thoughts then, you know, don't often translate in what we think we have set up, but we want the girls, you know, to be able to have the connection to the farm as well. If they, you know, want to lease their share of the acreage to their brother, or if they want to sell it to, you know, whatever they'd like to do, but always want them to have a connection to the farm and know that they're part of it.
We love doing this. This is our livelihood, and you know, it's kind of hard to walk away, because you see farmers that retire and they wish that they didn't retire, and it's, I don't, like I say, it's not really a job. It's kind of what we do. So I don't know. I guess we're just we believe in our Father, and He's blessed us well, and so you know, I guess that has a lot to do with where we are. You know, we've thought about retiring when things were good, and we're not ready to do that either. So, so just stay active, and we are active in our community. So.
And I think for us, it obviously is going to be a gradual transition. As we gradually got in, I think we'll gradually get out.
Okay.
And so we just, one day we think we have it all figured out, and the next day we're like, oh, let's rethink that. But right now, Wes is going to build his herd. He's going to get started, and actually, down the line, probably become his own producer, and then just, maybe, down the line, he can be in a position where then he can buy out our herd, or part of it, or whatever, however it works out.
I'm not pushing you out.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, no, but we can see eventually, that we won't. I don't think we'll ever be completely out of it, but maybe not so much the day-to-day stress and all that goes with it.
If you can build yourself a reputation that you are honest and that you're easy to work with. And that's what we have tried to be. Going back to the golden rule, probably, is we've treated our boys the way that we would want to be treated. And I don't know what the attraction was, except that maybe we loved it so much that they wanted to stay around. And
I'm just thankful that my 3 boys had a chance to do it if they wanted to, and all 3 of them did.
Achievement in any worthwhile endeavor is never a solo affair. When we come back, I'll visit with the next generation of Kerrs.
What single product delivers benefits to growers, the food industry, and consumers? Plenish High Oleic Soybeans from Pioneer. Plenish High Oleic Soybeans feature high-yielding genetics, key defensive traits, and solid agronomics. But the biggest difference for growers is the possibility of increased profits from food industry and consumer demand for healthier cooking oil alternatives. And the benefits keep stacking up. Longer fry life, resistance to rancidity for increased shelf life, and stability under high heat. Plus, reduced buildup on equipment resulting in lower maintenance and cleaning costs. Consumers are looking for more health-conscious choices when it comes to food. Plenish High Oleic Soybean Oil has 0 grams trans fat and 20% less saturated fat than commodity soybean oil, with the highest amount of heart-healthy monounsaturated fat available in soy. With Plenish High Oleic Soybeans and Oil, there's something for everyone. And it's only available from Pioneer.
The things you need to protect don't always come with a timeline. If your personal goal is to make sure your family farm stays in the family, you need to know where to turn for advice. Pioneer Hybrid proudly supports the Farm Journal Legacy Project, a valuable resource for your succession planning and your children's future. The family farm is alive and well. Pass it on.
This is our time to get the most out of every hour, out of every acre. You don't plant half promises, only the best solutions. We know the land, we know you. It goes generations deep. Right product on the right acre. It's what we do together.
Family dynamics, career choices, industry concerns, food fashions, and regulations. Sometimes it seems like success depends more on an ability to adapt than operational competence. Wes and Lauren are learning that achievement is a multifaceted challenge.
We know what the goal is to be able to have a successful transition, but it's obviously going to take quite some time to do it correctly. It's not going to be a real quick thing. It's going to be a process that over time will just continue to buy a certain percentage of the farm out and hopefully eventually get to the goal of finally being the owner of the dairy. And then of course by that time we'll start thinking about the next generation, how to transfer that to our kids.
I grew up 7 minutes if you take the long way, north of here.
Okay.
4 minutes if you take the short way, and I'm a 4th generation dairyman also. Our family had a dairy for 98 years, and yeah, they sold it in 2007, so a good example of succession when it doesn't go so right. So it just makes it all the sweeter to know that Bill and Sine are trying so hard to have a good succession with us. And the problem on our farm was that no one really wanted to dairy.
Okay.
So, and the timing was right, and milk prices were great, so cows are worth a lot, and so we timed it really well to sell, but it still is sad to see a farm
Because
go
we're never
out.
getting it back, right?
It's never coming back. We did get to buy, the Kerr dairy got to buy some of my family's cows, so that is good. And it makes my grandpa very happy to know that his cows are still being milked right here and that it's a granddaughter that's milking them. So if they need extra tractor work, if they're a man short, sometimes I'll go out and disc and do whatever they need. And we were short a calf feeder, so I did that for about a year. And now with the baby, I've kind of gotten laid off a little bit, which is nice.
Okay.
But yeah, I like to help where I can. It's fun and I like to stay connected to it. And I think it's important to show our kids that it's not just dad that can work on a farm, that everybody can.
Both me and my dad have kind of different personalities, so we can see different perspectives to the issue, to the problem. So in that regards, it works well. But just depending on what the issue is, if it's something that he's more in charge of, he still runs the finances of the operation. So really, he does make the ultimate say. But also, trying to keep in mind that I have a future as well, and the decisions he makes today are going to affect me as well.
Bill and Sine and John and Bobby, every generation has kind of always put the family first. We need to stay good together. If the family, can stay together and be happy and content living together, then the farm stuff will figure itself out. Everyone's kind of got the same goal. We want the farm to succeed, but not at the expense of the family. And so that's really made it easy to come into this because, if we're having a rough time or something, they'll be like, hey, get away, you guys, get out of here, spend a couple days, build you guys up before, nose to the grindstone every day on the farm. It's just not worth it. So they really have put that focus for us, and it makes it really easy to know where the priorities are. And when you have your priorities the way that they are, then everything else just kind of shakes out.
Coming up next, join me in Kevin's classroom.
Simply better forages. That's serious business to Pioneer. Advanced agronomics, nutritional expertise, and silage management practices. We're talking more than 25 years of focused dairy research to develop the best corn silage hybrids, alfalfa varieties, and inoculants that fit your operation. Hey, they all gotta eat. Get more from your fields, more from your cows. We'll back it up with the service you deserve. Simply better forages. Only from Pioneer.
The things you need to protect don't always come with a timeline. If your personal goal is to make sure your family farm stays in the family, you need to know where to turn for advice. Pioneer Hybrid proudly supports the Farm Journal Legacy Project, a valuable resource for your succession planning and your children's future. The family farm is alive and well. Pass it on.
This is our time to get the most out of every hour, out of every acre. You don't plant half promises, only the best solutions. We know the land, we know you. It goes generations deep. Right product on the right acre. It's what we do together.
Welcome to Kevin's Classroom. Advice, ideas, and helpful hints to guide you down the succession planning process.
Planning is a vital step in any successful business. These 5 hints can help begin the process. Number 1, schedule a planning meeting with your management team. Before the meeting, distribute pertinent business, financial, and market information that may help to inform the team and encourage productive dialogue. Number 2, establish some behavior guidelines for the meeting. The meeting should not become a management-driven diatribe, but rather a dialogue among a mutually dependent team of professionals. Number 3, allow each participant time to act and react. Carefully consider each person's input. As part of the management team, their input is valuable because they see the world differently than you do. Listen and learn. Number 4, consider utilizing an outside facilitator and meeting in a site away from the farm. Both of these factors promote discussion, no matter the rank or title within the company. People, especially staff, need to feel safe in order to speak freely and willingly offer suggestions. Number 5, conclude the meeting with a strategy for follow-up. Divide action, tasks, or responsibilities across the management team. You should include due dates and expected levels of performance.
For more useful tips from Kevin's classroom, sign up for Legacy Moment, a free weekly email. Visit the Legacy Project page at agweb.com to register.
Match the right product to the right acre and you'll see results. Y-Series soybeans from Pioneer, for example. They're redefining yield potential field by field. Powered by our exclusive accelerated yield technology system, they're the next generation of high-performing Pioneer varieties with bred and pest resistance traits. It's easy to see why growers plant Pioneer brand soybean varieties on more acres than any other brand.
This is our time to get the most out of every hour, out of every acre. You don't plant half promises, only the best solutions. We know the land, we know you. It goes generations deep. Right product on the right acre. It's what we do together.
The things you need to protect don't always come with a timeline. If your personal goal is to make sure your family farm stays in the family, you need to know where to turn for advice. Pioneer Hybrid proudly supports the Farm Journal Legacy Project, a valuable resource for your succession planning and your children's future. The family farm is alive and well. Pass it on.
Simple answers are the best answers. Pioneer was first to simplify corn rootworm refuge by integrating everything you need in a single bag. Now, Pioneer is expanding choices with new single-bag refuge products, Optimum Acre Max and Optimum Acre Max Extra Insect Protection. Just fill your planter and go. No stopping. Right product, right acre. Simple.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Pioneer Hybrid, helping you get the right product on the right acre. Science with service, delivering success.
In profiling leaders, we usually focus on the senior generation. Today, we're going to visit with Wes, next generation farmer in the Kerr family. Wes is a leader intent on using his interest in genetics to positively affect the dairy industry. Wes, let's just talk about growing up on the farm. You grew up on the farm, you did some chores with Dad. What did he do or what did you do to give you an interest in farming?
Yeah, well, you know, as a kid, we always, you know, all summer and all winter, you know, just are out with the cows, just having fun being a farm kid, going playing in the haystacks, building forts in the hay, and running and jumping around and just having fun. You know, and then of course, as you get older, you get a couple more chores built into the daily routines of taking care of some of the animals, like our farm, our 4-H projects, our FFA. Animals, so we all showed steers and heifers, and we also had a couple of sheep that we showed at the fair as well. So that just kind of got us involved, like hands-on with daily chores, and realizing that, okay, when you have animals, there's no day off. There's always chores to be done. They always need to be fed and taken care of. So that just kind of set the tone for, life on the farm, what it actually takes to run a dairy farm especially.
You went to school for?
Yes, Christian studies actually.
But you have an interest in agriculture. What was the change? How did we get here?
When I was a little kid, of course, I thought, oh man, I definitely want to be a farmer. And then as I got a little bit older, I'm like, well, you know what, there's plenty of other things out there as well. I could pursue a number of different occupations, so I might as well just look at that. But, and I was always, I'm a Christian, and so I was thinking, it'd be really fun to try to do something with agriculture overseas, try to do international agricultural development and that sort of thing in maybe third world countries. And I did get to go on a couple of mission trips for a couple of weeks several times, and so that was a really neat opportunity. But as I finished college and started realizing, Dad, he is needing some help on the farm, and I realized like that interest is still there. I still want to be involved on the farm, and it just turned out to be a really good opportunity to go ahead and step in and help him run the business, and ever since I've learned to love it.
If we had a group of your dad's peers, and you could give them a piece of advice about bringing in the next West, the next generation, preparing leadership, what would you say?
I think a huge part of being able to prepare the next generation is to actually let us be a part of it. Let us be, the actions that we take. We need to be able to see that we have a role to play in the farm. And I think my dad has done that really well. He's given me, like for instance, the whole genetic thing. He saw that I was really interested in genetics. He kind of turned that over to me and let me experiment. He let me talk to the different AI companies and different people about genetics. And so for the next generation, people need to realize that you have to get the younger generation involved early and actually let them have a real part of the operation, not just a nominal thing, oh yeah, go take care of the cows, kid, but actually let them learn how to manage the herd, let them know how to take care of the cows, how to pull calves, how to treat a cow that might be sick. All of those things are just hands-on things that if you have someone who is there to give you advice, that's very important, but at some point they need to be able to take a step back and let that young person learn and make a couple of mistakes, but learn from those mistakes. But as long as they have that opportunity to make real decisions that they can see the effects of, that's going to be the key for the next generation to want to have a part of the operation and also have that experience to give them a future.
To the Kerr family, thank you. Your willingness to share is a demonstration of the generosity that makes our industry strong. Succession planning for a next generation of family ownership is challenging, yet gratifying. The process can be complex, yet logical. When faced with challenging circumstances, I fall back on a few simple affirmations for strength and reinforcement. Those affirmations season my self-talk and become a part of my countenance. Please remember, success is a choice. A life of challenge is more satisfying than a life of regrets. Leadership is earned through service, not granted by dictate. And the legacy you leave will be measured by the lives you touch. Until next time, I'm Kevin Spafford, helping you to leave a legacy.